Did you hear that?
All right, welcome back to the Sasquatch Encounter Brigade. Hope everybody's doing good. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, our team is going out to our main research area. So it'll be the first time this year. I'm super excited about that. So what I figured I would do is, for those of you who have not seen it yet or heard it, I want to show you guys one of the best vocalizations that I've ever recorded, and it's not just a vocalization either. This was our very first trip out to this area, and we started going there because Happy Harris, when he was 19 years old, he had an incident happen out there where two of these things came up behind him and were screaming at him, and he passed out. So we wound up getting permission to go out to that property, super rural property in East Georgia, outside of Augusta. Farmland, woods, deer, hog everywhere, water source, absolutely perfect area. And we know it's a perfect area because 3 of us have seen 2 Sasquatch out there. But that was either the 3rd or 4th trip out there. Our first trip out there, we walked around during the day, we found tracks, we found other physical evidence. That night, the team split up. 2 of the guys went back to the cabin. That's about 20 minutes away. And then me, Scott, and Happy were all standing around the campfire, okay? And before the property owner left and the other guys left, we were playing coyote calls, okay? Really loud coyote calls. We were all hanging out around the fire, and they were playing it on their vehicle. And then they left. A few minutes later, after they left, we hear what sounds like an almost canine type vocalization. Now, I'm very convinced they were not canine at all because of what was embedded in the vocalization. So let's start with that first. So everybody leaves. We're standing around the campfire, and we hear this.
Like the top one of the... Yeah, I heard that. I need Mike for the top one of the... Yeah, I heard that.
Maybe 45 minutes to an hour later. Now, keep in mind, this is recorded on a GoPro. I had a GoPro sitting on my vehicle, just recording audio. It couldn't see anything, but it records really good audio. So that vocalization happens, and we don't realize how good it is. We heard the first borderline canine-ish calls. We did not hear the embedded we had no idea how good that recording was until I got it home, okay? Well, we're sitting around, and every once in a while, I'm going in the woods and I'm getting firewood and bringing it back, and we're sitting around talking, and I'm sitting there, and I hear what sounds like, kind of like a thud behind us in the woods, and I keep hearing it. It's almost like somebody stomping, but it wasn't super loud, and I asked them, do y'all hear that? And they're like, no, what are you hearing? I'm like, it sounds like, I don't know, I say something behind me or whatever. I tell them what I hear. And right after that, a rock hits my vehicle, which is, there's no trees up above it at all. We're sitting out in the middle of this pipeline clearing. And from behind us, a rock comes flying out of the wood line and hits my vehicle. Now, we didn't see it, but it's very, very obviously a rock.
You hear that? You hear that? Right behind me, that same thump. You hear that? You hear that? Right behind me, that same thump.
So after that rock, we know they're there, okay? We already had that vocalization, which we weren't super sure about, but then when that rock hit my vehicle, we were like, yeah, they're here. We're sitting around, we're not freaking out. We're all still in our same positions around the fire, and you can hear us talking everything over. And, you know, Scott's saying they're trying to get a reaction out of us. So that's why we're trying, you know, just trying to act like nothing happened so we can, you know, hopefully get something else to happen. And as we're sitting there talking through it, there's a mouth pop. Now, interestingly enough, this is not the first time this has happened. This mouth pop that you're going to hear in this video, we did not hear that in person. It almost sounds like a mouth pop slash hiccup type sound is what it kind of sounds like. And after that, there's a very obvious grunt. And you can hear us all say, I heard that, right? Because it's super obvious. Now this is, if I had to guess, they're 20, 30 feet inside the wood line and we're torn, right? And it's always the same thing over and over again. You don't want to overreact. You know, you want to get them on video, but you also want them to hang around as long as possible. So you're kind of torn as to what to do. So I'm scooting over. I've got my thermal camera on a tripod next to me. And I'm making my way over there slowly so I can get that thermal camera faced in that direction. Now, eventually, it's not over yet, but eventually when it's all said and done, we both have really good thermals at the time, and neither one of us could find anything. And we think we figured out why. The next time we were out there, Happy found these big mounds of dirt that were out there. They're all over the property. I don't know what they're from. Some from doing shooting lanes. Others, who knows, maybe it was test holes or whatever else. But there's mounds of dirt, probably about maybe 2.5, 3 feet tall, in the same direction where all these grunts and everything were coming from. So, you know, speculation, of course, because we didn't see them, but we think that might have been where they were at, is behind those mounds of dirt.
Well, you know, keep doing things so you can react. It's entertaining. That was something else they've learned.
That was close behind us.
Yeah,
That wasn't far off though.
behind you. What? I heard that. Yeah, there was a grunt.
And so after that grunt, you know, Happy he'd stayed out of the woods since he was 19 years old. Only going out, he'd go, I think he said he went fishing a couple times and maybe duck hunting, stuff like that. But these things really pretty much scared him out of the woods, and he didn't talk about it for years until he told us and then brought us out there. And, you know, I got to give it to him. He faced his fear head on, and he wanted to get a look at him. He reached down, he grabs a flashlight, and he turns it on. And right when he does, I say, don't shine, because I don't want him to shine directly on them, right? I say, don't shine, don't shine. So it's flashlight on. You can actually hear it. Click on. I say, don't shine, don't shine. And then there's another vocalization that's super odd. It's like, obviously not some other animal, right? And the interesting thing about that is I think that it's reacting to Happy turning that flashlight on. Now, there's been a bunch of different situations that I've been in where they've reacted to flashlights differently. I've heard before in the past, when I first started doing this, that if you've got a flashlight on you, they will not come around. That's not true. Now, if you've got a very super, bright flashlight and you're shining it all the time in the woods, yeah, that's probably going to keep them away. They do react to the flashlights, but it's not a guarantee, okay? I've had several different incidents on my own property where I've used a flashlight and they come around anyway. So that's just a very interesting aspect of all this, the fact that they did vocalize as a reaction, I think, to the flashlight being turned on, which is pretty cool.
Because he didn't do anything to grunt. He didn't respond. That's why. Oh, son. Son, for it, go. 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 Leave the legs on. Let's keep